What is a developer advocate? How to get started with DevRel? What is the most important part of being a developer advocate and work-life balance? Marc, DevRel lead working at WeAreDevelopers, interviewed me and I got some very good questions, which I answered live on stage. Before I start, a big shout out to WeAreDevelopers, not only for having me as an interview to talk about DevRel, but also for organizing a great conference, the WeAreDevelopers World Congress. I had an amazing time last year, not only because I gave a talk in front of 500 people, but also for finally meeting in person some friends I met online, like Marc. This year, they are organizing an even bigger event, more than 10,000 developers attending. Mind the date, 27-28 of July 2023. You can get a ticket in the link below with a special discount. Oh, and I'll be there too.
For many people, it's not clear what is a developer advocate and what do they do. Can you tell us your definition? Because it's
Yes.
For me, it's always a little bit not that. I think there's no clear definition. But what's yours?
Yes. Just before I answer, let me tell you that I made this question to about 100 developer advocates, and they have 100 different definitions. So we are not going to go anywhere today. But my own personal definition, I think the developer advocate is the person in the middle between a company and the developers. So it's basically the person who is basically working in two ways. So it needs to get feedback from the community, inform the community about new stuff. So it's basically always a mess because we are basically doing two jobs in two different directions. This is how I see it. And I think it's normal that there are different definitions because DevRel is a huge word. And also developer advocates, they make different things, different activities depending on what the company needs. So they can need more a community builder, more a content creator. This is not the only company I've been a developer advocate for. And the previous company had total different needs. They need more coding. So it was, now it's different. Now I'm more focused on the content creation and community building part.
What is your advice for someone that wants to get into developer advocacy or building communities, that wants to do more stuff with developers or communities in general? What would you suggest? Where can they start? How does it even work to get into that field?
Okay, I have a bit sort of unpopular opinion on this, but this is what worked for me. So this is my unpopular tip. I would say that instead of just reaching out to 100 companies saying like, oh, do you need a developer advocate by chance? I think that in 90% of the cases, the company should reach out to you, and I'll explain you why. So I would suggest to focus on the content creation, focus on building your community. The reason is that, as I said before, companies have different needs, and usually they know what the company needs, and you usually don't have an idea of what the company needs. I didn't have a precise idea of what the dev needs before I joined. I don't know about you, if you had a complete idea. Usually, the company, they like what you do, how you express yourself, the way you expose yourself, the way you communicate. So I think they should reach out to you. If you really like a company, maybe you can follow the company, find some friends there, starting making some connections. But I think that the right way is to don't reach out many companies just because you want a developer advocate role. Instead, if you focus on doing good, I think that you have the opposite problem, which is to choose between which is the best company for you. So this is, I think it's a good approach. So doing good and waiting for people reaching out for you.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because I and this came out of sort of nowhere. Like I was just working as a Vue developer, and I was like happy sharing new stuff and just being active on Twitter. I like that. And then suddenly Vue Storefront reached out to me, hey, do you want to be developer advocate? And for me, it was very like surprising and like, okay. But now that you say it, it makes total sense, because yeah, they need to see it in you. And if you apply for it, it's already, you're not visible enough for them.
Yes, of course, if you are interested, you should at least know what a developer advocate is, what they usually do, at least so you know, have an idea of what the job will be. For example, I received the first offer as a developer advocate the day after I became a Docker captain for a company which was working for containerization. Is that a coincidence? We will never know. It was not DeliDev, it was another company. But I think they were connected, of course. I think that once you start any developer advocate role, then you can switch and you can choose whatever you want. If you find a different company, if your needs, they will change probably in the future. You understand, I don't know, that you like building a community, that you like just creating content. It's a very wide role. And honestly, I love this role, to be honest.
Awesome. And what do you think is the most important part for a developer advocate?
Okay, here also my own definition. I think it's being authentic as a developer advocate, because if you work for a company, if you get a salary for a company, it can be hard to have like honest feedback, like I don't like this, I don't like that. Instead, I think that a company hires you as a developer advocate because they want you to know, like, do you think this is good for developers or not? So this is the biggest and the most important thing as a developer. You are working, let's say, on the edge of the company. Your role is also to say, okay, so this is a bad idea, I'm sorry, but developers will not like that. And you are the person who is in charge of this hard task, I'd say.
I see you do a lot of stuff on Twitter and also on other parts. And for me, it's always like, I couldn't do this much stuff. You do so many things. And I just want to know, what is your way to deal with work-life balance?
Nice. Thank you for saying this, because in my head, I want to do the triple of the things that I'm doing. So thank you, because you're not the only person who's saying this. And about work-life balance, I think it's very important to exercise. For example, today I went for a run with Debbie from Microsoft, and I think this is a life-changing. So for me, the two biggest life-changing, 7 years ago I started, it has been waking up very early, around 4, 5 a.m., and then exercising. These two things, in the long run, they have an impact. So it seems that you are wasting time. I think already in 1 week, you see the difference. In months and years, it's a life-changing habit that you can have. By the way, it's very hard to don't gain weight during a conference because you have free food. So it's super hard. So conferences are a bit hard, but in the day-to-day life, this is what I think can really make you go on a different level.